Thank you, Lee.
Thank you, Lee.
Thank you. Good morning, and thank you so much for coming here. I am so grateful for each one of you. There is nothing better than having similar-minded people in the same place together. Today, we're going to have an awesome time together. And is that true?
Yes.
You're going to love this information that I share with you, that it's going to tap the inner greatness that is within you. And in the next few years, the world is going to experience more prosperity, more wealth, more joy, and more happiness. And you have a choice on whether you want to join that or the opposite of that. So I assume that all of you wish to experience the goodness of life, the good life, the platinum lifestyle, and have all of this wonderful abundance, joy, and happiness. And is that correct?
Correct.
Good. Excellent. That I'm going to share with you, as Lee mentioned, the Napoleon Hill, and he wrote a book called Think and Grow Rich. And it's the #1 selling motivational book, helped millions of people in their lives. However, it was missing one thing in the book. And he talked about this, the secret, the hidden secret, but it was never shared. In fact, I found out that his original transcript had that secret in it, but they said, the editor said, we're not publishing this if we add this in because people won't buy it, so we're going to take it out. And it's the missing secret that I'm going to share with you today that's going to take you to a whole new level and to give you all the things that you desire. You can believe that to be true. When you leave here, you're going to have a gift that you're going to be able to use and take with you forever. Do you believe that?
Yes.
Yeah, that's all you need to do, is just believe that I am only here talking through spirit in order to give you this truth. So my book that I just wrote, that'll be out next month, is called Think, Feel. Whoa, perfect, perfect. See, they're still trying to cover it up. They plant people in there. Sneeze when you let out the magic word. But we are determined to know the truth, and here's the truth. That it's think, feel, and grow rich. And so a couple weeks ago, I shared that, and that they actually edited 37 times out the word vibration in Napoleon Hill's book. And so what is all this vibration, and what's the missing link? Like, we've been promised, when you ask, you shall receive. And then, you know, most of us have been, where's my stuff, right? I mean, I asked for it, and then where is it? Where's my more money, my more whatever? And so this missing link is the link that's going to help connect you to all there is and all that you desire. So this is a play shop, not a workshop. It's a play shop. So welcome to Dr. Hank's Play Shop, and here we go. Are you ready? Okay, the first thing I want you to do is I want you to write down, what is it, the #1 thing that you desire? What do you want? More money, a better relationship, you want to be happier, you want a thriving business. What do you want? Not what you don't want. Okay? Does anybody want to share what your goal is? Doesn't have to necessarily be, you know, they say SMART goal, specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, time frame. Doesn't have to be that. What do you want? You know? Yes, Keisha. Money. Yeah, I want more money. Think, feel, and grow rich. So rich is part of money, but richness is way more than money. In fact, everything we do is for the feeling. Carol, what's yours?
I want to do work that nourishes my soul.
Oh, work that nourishes my soul. Doesn't that sound sweet? Don't we all want to do that? That you can do that. I'd only just change that word work to play. We don't have to work. We don't have to work hard. Okay? That we've been told, the world has told us the opposite of how life really works. And today, you're going to know on how life really works. And so there's 5 steps in order to understand, and I'm going to share those steps with you. So, so think about, as I share these steps, think about what you desire and how you can work that in to what you desire with what I share with you, okay? So the first step, so I'm going to write the steps here, and the first step that I have to think, and basically I have to think about what I desire. So thoughts are things, you've heard that, and you know, that all sounds fine. You've heard about affirmations, and you've said, hey, you know, I am rich, I am a millionaire, and that stuff doesn't work. Or most of the time, some of the time, whatever, where it didn't work. And again, we're going to find out why that didn't work. But we have to look first into the areas that we think in. So I'm going to share with you the areas that we as vibrational beings, that's who you are. You are vibration. You know, we already know from quantum physics that, you know, this isn't just a hard hand that's here, that this is just energy. We're energy. We come from pure life force. And we have decided to come to this place to enjoy this life of contrast that helps us to understand what we desire, and then to be able to experience that and feel that, and we expand all there is. You are so worthy, it's incredible. You're on the leading edge. But we haven't been told that. We've been told the opposite of that. So to look at where we are is these are the 4 areas that we think in, and I would suggest, again, I'm a mental scientist, so I know on how the mind works and how most effectively you can incorporate this, because I also know that by Thanksgiving, that you're going to probably forget most of this, okay? But if you write it down, it's going to help you to remember and start applying this. Because if you don't apply this, and it's not, you don't have to work hard, you just have to think and then feel softly, okay? So let's take a look at the 4 areas. So I'd like you to write down, I would suggest you do this on a full page that you can, because we're going to do 4 different areas that we think, where we think on. And for you to understand this will help you to capture how the way to think about in order to have your desires. So whatever you wrote down, that is, you start thinking this way, or stop thinking the 3 ways I'm going to show you, that you will see that you will be able to achieve your desire. So the first area, so to the left here, is this is what I want. So when I think about what I want, and up here is when I do that non-deliberately or non-intentionally, okay? So what I call that is when I'm thinking about what I want and I do it non-deliberately, that it is a red zone, and it is where I am reactive to life. It's kind of like, oh, you wake up in the morning and you say, well, you know, how's the day going to be? And usually we're thinking about, well, the day is going to be really tough and I'm going to have to work hard and all this stuff. Okay, so you already start off day wrong. But you may have some things, oh, I'm going to do this, this, this. And by the end of the day, you go, what happened to the day and why didn't I get all these things done? Ever that happened to you? Okay, that's because I'm reactive and I don't pre-pave. And so it's kind of like, me jumping out of an airplane and then remembering, oh, I forgot that darn parachute. And you'll only say that once, right? It's not like, gee, I forgot the parachute again. Yeah. So on being reactive, that this is where I think about what is. So you say, oh, well, this is how my job is. And so you just expect it. This is how my mate is. She or he is crabby or, not very supportive or whatever, and I just expect that. So you keep on thinking about what is, and you will get more because you're it. You're the power. Your thoughts create. It's the start of the process of creation is your thought. And so if I think about what is, like if you say, well, the average is, we're way above averages. We make our own average. If you start doing, well, other people do that, good luck. Most people are miserable. Okay, who wants to be that? You can be happy with those desires you wrote down, you can be happy right now with where you are. In fact, just sit back and think about the blessings that each one of us have. We have, movement of our hands, of our legs. We're able to see and touch and smell, and we're able to feel, and we have emotions, and we're able to love, and we have all of this beautiful, beautiful life that we have. We have people around us that we may not like so much sometimes, but that's only because of our thoughts. But we're so grateful, aren't we, for all the things that we have? We are so grateful. So you can be happy right here. So stop the whining, stop the pity party. Because a pity party just gives you more pity parties. Who wants that? So the red zone is bad, and I have to stop thinking about what is. Okay, everybody understand that? Okay. Any questions? We could talk about this. If you ever have questions on this, just let me know about anything. Okay, then down here is what I don't want. And this is another red zone. And this is one of the things is busy work. So I get up on most Saturday mornings and I say, well, I'm going to go clean out the garage or clean out the closet. And then you wake up and you have some coffee. And then, well, you turn on the TV and you read the newspaper. And, pretty soon it's in the afternoon. And this is most of our lives. We have things about, you have things you want to do in 2013. And at the end of 2013, they don't get done. And why is that? Because we maintain ourselves some of the time doing busy work. And what this is, instead of was is, what is, it's so what? Okay? So what? Hey, I'm going to be non-deliberate. I'm going to be non-deliberate and on what I don't want. And so what? If I don't get the closet clean, who cares? If I don't get, my business thriving, if I don't get better health, what the heck? I'm just happy kind of sitting here on the couch. Any of you ever experienced a so what moment? Hey, quit being so enthusiastic, Charles, about that. So there's another zone. And that I know you thought that you were going to come to a motivational, inspiring, uplifting thing. And so far, this has been pretty depressing, right? I mean, God darn it, that, I'm either in what is or so what, and then it gets worse. And so where it gets worse is that I'm now going to be deliberate. Hey, that's a good word. I'm going to be intentional, okay? However, I'm going to be down here on what I don't want. And this is a red zone. And this is what we call the committee. So I want you to imagine that in your mind that you have this committee. Imagine a mahogany table, beautiful mahogany table, executive chairs lined up around. And this is, again, in your head, okay? And there are committee members that are in your head. The first committee member is fear. And fear is an acronym, F period, E period, A period, R period. And it's false evidence appearing real. Most of the things that we fear don't ever happen to us. The insurance industry wanted to understand on why people were dying because they like life insurance. It really should be called death insurance, right? But they call it life insurance. And they wanted to find out why are people dying. And they found out that people were dying because of heart disease. They said number one reason, heart disease. Then they asked, hey, because of this heart disease, what causes the heart disease? And they found out it was stress. And by the way, every one of these increases your stress. So it kills you. It literally kills you. You're killing yourself. So if you don't care about anything else, that I am killing myself when I think about what is, and oh, this is what is, this is how my relationship is, this is where my money is, this is where my health is, that if you continue to think about what is, you are such a magnificent creator. You're a creator of your own experience, and so you're going to create more of what is. And that's going to increase your stress, and it's literally going to kill you. Whew. So it's getting more depressing every minute. And so when I'm in so what stage, that increases my stress too. And so back to fear, so they said, yeah, heart disease, number one killer. They said, what's that from? That's from stress. Where does stress come from? And they found out that stress comes from our fears. So they said, we're going to study fears and find out where is this fear. What about this fear? And they found out that 93% of the things we fear never even happen. And the things that do happen, it's only because we don't have faith in that this thing happened that we call bad, but it's just contrast. Okay, this happened in order to get us on our path. Like, how many of you have been divorced? Raise a hand, a divorce. At the time when that happened, oh, geez, now, how many are happy you got divorced? Okay. So proof's in the pudding, right? Wow, I experienced this. I thought it was bad. The what is looked like it was bad, got divorced, and wow, a couple years later, a couple minutes later, whatever, this rocks. I am so happy about this. But we were all into the what is, my boy, this is so, tough. So it is, the universe is giving us indications, hints, all the time on come over here on your path. Be with the people, be with the happiness and that. And so the things that happen, we just don't have faith that life is just nudging us a little on, hey, this is your path. Just ease into it.
That was easy.
As easy as that, okay? You're in control. Your mental focus is it. And so if you just go like that, then you got it. That you reckon, wow, this is easy. I can just change my focus. On every and anything that happens, I'm happy for the contrast, the bad stuff. Okay, I'm happy for that because that's what I don't want. Mwah. Resist no evil. I love that contrast because this helps me to understand what I want. Okay? It's a concept that if you can embrace that concept, it makes life wonderful. You're happy all the time. I have clients that say to me, I'm happy all the time now. And you literally can be happy all the time. Doesn't mean you don't have the contrast. Okay? You love the contrast because that helps me to understand my desire and what I want and enhances my desire and my love for whatever I want. Okay? So, fear, worry, doubt. These are committee members that are around in your mind that are there. They're sitting there controlling the whole show, aren't they? Boy, they love this. Oh, you better not be that. Guarded is another great word. Oh, yeah, I'm going to be guarded about that. You know what? I'm not guarded about anything. I have eternal life that I don't have to worry about. Even my life, they could stick a knife in my head. It doesn't matter, I'll just come back again. Do more talks. You're never going to get rid of me. So we're in doubt, complaining. So every time you're complaining, you're just going closer to your grave, okay? Remember, it increases your stress. Complaining, blaming. When I'm blaming somebody else and I get that finger pointed at them, wow, I got 3 pointed back at me. I had someone share with me recently. They said, I lived like 3 years ago in, in Florida and 2 years ago in New York, and everywhere I went, there were people that just weren't agreeable with me. And I said, do you notice a common theme here? No, I don't see any. I mean, the world's really bad. There's bad people out there. And I said, well, in every one of those states that, you happen to be there at that time. Right? Oh, yeah, you're it. And so you can literally change anyone. And so I have had people that have changed relationships. They've been married. I have one person I work with that for, 17, 18 years they've been married. And my husband, she's going to fight for her lack of limitation. And my husband, that he doesn't support me, he's not very friendly with me, and she just went on and on telling me about how bad this person was, her husband, okay? And he'll never change. And so if you say that, you're it, okay? You command whatever, your experience on how the other people are to you and everything, because any person, every one of you, can be really nice or not. There's other words for that, or not, but you get what I mean, right? So I could be alpha to the omega. I could be one way or another, and it's up to me to decide, what do I want to see in that person? I'm it. I control everything. So she decided, you know what, I think I can actually do this. And so she just started, every time she thought about her husband, instead of thinking about how unsupportive he was and that he would just be doing this and be lazy and be on the kind of all that stuff, she started thinking about the 1 or 2 times when he was nice to her. Okay? But she just focused more and more, and that got bigger and bigger in her thoughts about how he was nice and loving and supportive. And 3 weeks later, he turned around. She goes, wow, this is like magic.
That was easy.
Easy peasy, easy peasy. Everything's easy. It's all up to you. You're it. You can't do any more complaining or blaming or whatever. Oh, here's 2 more. And if you're Catholic, please forgive me. Dear Lord, please forgive me that. Shame and guilt. Yeah, there's a lot of shame and guilt. So I work with a lot of recovering Catholics. And because they've been told from day one, In fact, all of us have been told pretty much since we've been born that you were either born tarnished, okay, or that you were just a random act. Science says you were a random act. You don't really believe that, do you? You're not tarnished at all. You're magnificent. You decided to come into this place. You're so magnificent, you took your energy and you created your energy into that little baby. And you know what your parents said? They said, wow, it's a miracle. It's you. Your parents each said to you, you're a miracle. So let's start acting like it. Let's start realizing who we are and the power that we are. You are right now starting to tap in to your inner greatness and recognizing, wow, with my thought, it all starts here. Step 1 for me to have everything that I want. Amen? Yeah. So, plain and blank, this committee, members, is a long list. We don't have enough time today to go. We'd be here till tomorrow afternoon. Lee wouldn't like that, then we couldn't go to Agape. So, so what happens here? It increases our stress. Again, literally kills us, this stuff. It not only keeps us further away from all the things that we want, but it also literally kills you and keeps you on this earth for a shorter time. And I don't care what your situation is. It doesn't matter. You can tell me whatever the story is, that you just keep on telling your story, and you're going to make it bigger and bigger, and it's going to be more and more real to you. And you're going to tell me, see, I told you so. And I say, yeah, I told you so. Whatever you think about, you're going to get. Okay? So leave the story. Leave that at the door. In fact, let's take all our stories, just escort them right out that door, and let's leave them alone and recognize that right now in this present moment I have all the power that I need in order to create whatever I want. Perfect health, happiness, joy, abundance. Rolls Royce. No, not a Rolls Royce. Okay. We all are different, whatever you desire. The beauty of this teaching and this knowing is that it's all up to you, whatever you want. Whatever you want. But this will help you to understand on how to get what you want. Okay? So, hallelujah. Here we go into the motivational part now. It's been a while. Yeah, wow. Ooh. But here we go in. Now, if I focus my thoughts on what I want, and I'm deliberate in that, then I am going to live in the green zone. And so I want you to think about green zone. And, oh, yeah, that's where I'm going to be. That, you know, and all you have to do is observe your thoughts. Be the observer and pretend like you're here and just observe your thoughts. And if there are any of these thoughts about what is, so what, and by the way, this usually is what was. This here usually is what was. And so my past experiences, I look at them and I just, especially the bad ones, I blow them up to be this just awful, terrible thing. And you've blown them up to make them so big that they seem so real that you think you can't get rid of them. Like people say, oh, it's my upbringing, it's in my subconscious mind, and you know, it's my beliefs, and you know, I can't do anything about it. None of that has any power compared to the power that you have right now in this present moment on what you're going to think. So all you have to do is identify what subjects that you want to think about and think about what you want. Now the key on any subject is there's two sides to it. It's like a coin. There is the side of, let's take money. One side is, gosh, I want more money. That you know, I can't believe those rich, filthy people over there that they have money, okay? That's all on my lack of money. Okay, do you understand that? Versus, wow, I love money. Money is fun and exciting. I enjoy money. I love money flowing into my experience. It's great. I am grateful for the penny I found on the ground, okay? That you're grateful for the money just flowing. It doesn't matter how much, because you know you have faith in the stream of good. There is only one power. There is only one source, and that's God. And people say, hold on. I had someone yesterday tell me, well, you know, Dr. Hank, that these angels, I finally do realize there are angels, and I would ask all of you to please ask your angels for your help, and guidance and love. There are angels. I'm telling you, they're right here, right now, and you have your own cadre, and they're all on your side. You have all that there is that is wanting you to be the best. Anyway, so this doctor that I'm working with yesterday, he says, oh, man, I finally believe that there's angels. And I go, why? And he goes, well, I had a really bad angel. And I go, bad angel? Oh my God. You believe in angels because there's a bad one? I can hardly wait to hear this. He goes, oh yeah, it was bad. It was like a little fetus on me. And you know, he's getting, man, you gotta be kidding me about this angel stuff. And so he said, but no, what happened is my dad, you know, read some Bible verses, whatever, about angels and that there's good angels, bad angels. So I decided I better do what Dr. Hank says and call them my angels. And by God, I called them my angels. And this little devil angel just came crawling right off of me and left. And I said, whatever you want to believe, as long as you know this, that there is only one stream, okay? There's only one source, one essence that flows, and it's good. It's well-being. It's love. It's wonderful. The only thing, the reason, so let's imagine that this stream is flowing down, call it God, universe, whatever, and it's flowing into me. And then I start thinking, oh, this is a tough life. And what I start doing on these negative thoughts when I'm in the red zone, I start cutting off this good life, this good stream. Now, you'll never cut it off all the way. It's impossible. But you'll cut it off enough to, in your experience, you think there must be a devil. There is no source of a devil. You probably think there's bad people. I never have bad people in my life. You know why? Because I'm intentional. I live in this green zone. And so let's get to, on green zone, that, where's my green pen? Oh, thank you. That this is where I am more intentional in my life. And this is where I pre-pave. I pre-pave my life. Every morning, I ask that I attract into my life harmonious, good, loving, wonderful, uplifting people. And you know what I get? I get you guys. I mean, who could ask for anything more wonderful than each one of you loving, warm, uplifting people? That's the only thing in my, because what I do is I'm this vibration, and through my thoughts, I vibrate, and I start what I call a love tornado, okay? And I start that love tornado, and it's coming around, and it's going, and it's coming, and it's attracting every good person, all the money, all everything in. But as I'm walking, and that all of a sudden, a bad person comes, okay, not similar-minded person, that they can't get in. Because this love tornado is going way too fast for anything that I don't want. Because I am so focused on what I desire, what I want. And so, but I got to prepave it. It's all up to me. This is by default. If you're in here, you get life by default. And you know what most people are? Is, oh, it's a bad economy. I mean, first of all, it's just ridiculous. The Dallas economy has been good for like the last year, and I still have people tell me it's a bad economy. Like that, but this is what the papers say. That, and so if you start reading the papers, if you start reading ads on you're not good enough, you need this, you need that, and you listen to mass consciousness, your life is going to be hell, and you're going to think there is a source of the devil. Okay? So you have to prepave, and you prepave everything on how your relationships are. With my lovely wife, Sharon, I ask for a loving, endearing, beautiful love relationship, and that's what we have. Right, honey? See? Yeah. That's because I gave her my wallet. No. I mean, this stuff really works. And my clients, it really works for them. In fact, let's see, Robert is a client, and he wrote today, if you don't mind, Robert. As I sit and do my joy shop, which is something that I'll introduce you to a program I have on how to do the joy shop, that I want to thank you for the positive change you're affecting in my life, as well as thanking you for having this event this morning. This morning, 6 years ago, I was the only one with my daddy when he graduated from this world, and I could not think of a better way to celebrate that anniversary than invoking positive changes in my world. He gave me life, and you are teaching me how to maximize my experience here in this world. Huh? Let's go. And bless your daddy and know that nothing's missing, and your daddy is right here, and I can feel his presence right here, and he's smiling and loving this. Each one of you that have dearly departed, just call upon them. They're right with you. They're right with you. Okay, so I just prepave. I do things like doing a joy shop, meditation, that it is I manage life. Life no longer manages me. I'm not going to give my power away to any person, anything, any circumstance, any event, any past thing. I no longer give my power away. All my power rests right now, and I am going to determine and declare and command what I want. Okay? So this is just step one. And there's 5 steps. You're thinking, like, holy mackerel, this is a tough one. But it's not tough at all, because most of the other steps are done for you. You know, what do you have done for you? Is that what you have for the real estate agents? Is done for you? Is that? Yeah. Well, the beauty is you have done for you, okay, by the universe, will do most of all of this. In fact, and if you can grasp this, that you're home free, to live in the green zone, you only need to do 2 things. Think about what you want. And most of you think about what you don't want. You woke up this way, oh, I'm not feeling very good. Change that thought. You're going to just get more of it, okay? If you say, oh, the traffic, that I'm going to have a lot of traffic, okay. I don't have traffic at all. I don't have parking spots at all. Sharon says to me, oh, you know, there's going to be a lot of traffic. I said, no, there won't. And then she goes, that's right, there won't. And then then she says, oh, there won't be any parking spots. Last night we go to eat, and she goes, you know, it's real busy. It's 6:20. There's no way there's any parking spots. And I come up and I pull right in. The restaurant's like, you know, 10 feet away, you know, there. And she, how does this happen? I then go in, and I go into the men's room. Okay, now I'm really getting personal. And I go into the men's room, and I see, where did we eat, honey? At Payway. Thank you. And it says, and so I have a little chime that's in there, okay, that is just, you know, right there in my fortune. And it says, every person is the architect of his or her own fortune. And I went, the universe is giving me a little indication I should read this to my little beeps here today, that everybody, we're all in this together and we're going to all vibrate good on this. Every person is the architect of his or her own fortune. Do you want to know the winning numbers for lottery tonight? Believe it and it'll be yours. Money can come in all different types of ways, okay? So think about what you want. It's the first thing. Now what you don't want. And I'm sharing with you that those of you that aren't coaching with me, most of you are thinking about what you don't want. We don't have enough money. We don't have enough to do this. That I want you to think, whether you have it or not, when you see that Bentley drive by, say, hey, I might get that Bentley. Okay? That you see that nice $15,000 purse, I might get that purse. You have to change your thinking. That most people that you've been taught that, you know what, I'm going to believe it when I see it. And what I tell you is when you see it is when you believe it. Just the complete opposite of what you've been told. We've all been misguided in a loving way, but we've just been misguided. The second thing to do, think about what you want. And then the second one is to think about how you will feel when you have it. So Kirsha had said, oh, I want more money. So you think, you know, I like that. There's plenty of people with money. There's plenty of Bentleys. There's plenty of millionaires. There's like all kinds of abundance. This is the wealthiest nation in the world. That, you know, I can have that. I'm worthy of that. That I can have that. And so how would I feel? Oh, I would feel so liberated. I'd feel so much freedom. I'd feel so good. And you just get into how you would feel. And when the only way to get to your desires that are over there is for you to feel being over there with what you want. And that's the missing link. And that is step one, think of what you want. Two is that I have to feel it. And another word that Napoleon Hill used, but they took out of his book 37 times, 38 times, is you have to vibrate it. I can't say, I want a lot of money, I want more money, and be mad about it. Well, how are you vibrating? You're vibrating on the other side of what you don't want. You're vibrating lack and limitation. Do you follow that? I mean, it's a powerful concept. That's why when you have asked and not received, you said, what a rip. You know, that I've asked for stuff and it hasn't happened, but I didn't feel it. So step two is that for me to feel it and be able to vibrate to that. So imagine that you are this thought, and this thought that then creates immediately, your thought creates. You're the creator of your own experience. So when you think, you immediately create something. And what is it you create? The feeling. So when I think, I immediately create a feeling. God doesn't understand English or Spanish or any other language. God, you communicate through to source, to God, to all there is, through your feelings, your vibration. God, energy source, is just vibration, is energy, is this love energy, and you're part of that. And through your thought, you vibrate that energy to source saying, this is what I want, and source delivers it to you immediately. Now, you don't see it yet, but it is this spiritual, non-physical energy that is coming in, and you will see it in your experience as you think about it and then feel it. Are you guys okay with that? Do you follow that? Now, I'm going to help you with this whole vibration. Do you want to take a break yet? No. Okay. I caught you on that. Good. Yeah, we want more. Yes. Okay, so make sure you write down the 2 things you only think about, because you're going to catch yourself driving home thinking, that's not what I want. Okay, you'll be thinking all the time about, oh boy, now I got to go grocery store shop. Oh boy, I got Thanksgiving, I got to go buy. How are you vibrating on that? You're going to have a lousy Thanksgiving, a lousy time getting the shop. You got to love everything. I'm going to love going shopping for the turkey. I love this. My family's going to just rock with this. We're going to have such a wonderful time. It's not going to be, they're going to all the men are going to sit down and watch football. You declare what you want. They'll change. You can change every and anything. You're the creator. You're it. So to help you with the feel, that I am going to share with you this is the emotional scale of vibrational beings. So we're going to start at the bottom, and it's going to be red for bad, okay? So on the lowest thing is when I feel disempowered and when I feel fear, false evidence appearing real, when I feel fear. And let's see, another one up here would be discouraged. And down here, depressed. When you feel disempowered, like, I don't have any choices, that you're vibrating at the worst that you can, and here's God, and here you are. And our objective is to think good feeling thoughts that get us to a feeling that matches with our source, and we'll have everything we want. Everything that we want. So disempowered, fear, depressed, discouraged, and so we're working our way up here. Worry, and then doubt. So if you doubt this, you're right. And it's not going to happen. Just try this for 24 hours about this thinking about what you want and then being very guarded. Like, you know what the number one thing when I was asked, and I will assume that none of you have this, the number one thing that I want in my life is to feel good. That's it. Because any money is just there because it makes me feel good. Any relationship is just there because it makes me feel good. All I want to do is to feel good. And I have a communication with my source, and so do you, that will guide you onto your lighted path. You each have your own beautiful lighted path to an abundance of everything you want. Your inheritance is sitting there waiting for you. With that communication, that guidance system, is your feelings. When you feel bad, you're thinking the wrong thing. So doubt, mass consciousness, most people are at about the 44% mark, and they're all basically in doubt. They doubt themselves, they doubt other people, They don't have faith and belief in the goodness that there is, and the only goodness that flows. At this point, the 50% mark, that I start aligning myself with my Creator. So this is a co-creation process. I start it all with my thoughts, and my good feeling thoughts run to my feelings, and my feelings then vibrate out into the universe, and the universe, as I match up my vibration with the universe, that then I get all that I desire. So up here is belief. And today, I'm going to ask you to take a leap of faith and to go from doubt on the Creator that you are, that you can have all the things that you want, that we came to a thought yesterday, Greg and I, and a thought for him that he just loved. He just embraced it, and it made him feel so good about what he was going to achieve. And he lined up, and it immediately started demonstrating in his life. Happened to be lots of money. And he matched right up with that idea. And all I have to do is go from doubt to belief, which Greg did just, when was it, Thursday? Yeah, Thursday. And this is the leap of faith. So if you have been told in church on, have faith or whatever, take a leap of faith, this gives you maybe more clarity for you and an easier route for you, an understanding on there isn't some guy out here, some higher human being or whatever out here, that the kingdom, we have been told by Christ, that the kingdom is within. And so I go within, and what am I going within on? It's my feelings. That's all I'm looking for. It's the good feeling. So when my thoughts are good feelings of what I desire, that I connect then to my source, and it's delivered to me. And so I take the leap of faith, and today I'm going to ask each one of you to take the leap of faith and to recognize on who you are and to just start being real
That was easy.
easy on yourself, okay? That just be easy on yourself. We have all eternity. There's no hurry on any of this. Take it easy and just start thinking about what you want and how you feel, and then care about how you feel. And all you want to do is feel good, and you are aligned with your source and all that you are. So the leap of faith to belief, and that belief then will take you to empowerment. It will take you to joy, to love. It will take you to happiness, to the freedom that you have always wanted. And it will take you to God, your source, all that there is. So questions, comments? Yes.
I wrote down this morning, faith is the atmosphere of great expectation.
Great expectation, and positive expectation sits right here. Excellent. Positive expectation. I expect the best. I expect that when I came here, I didn't, didn't get into details on, hey, everybody's going to be this way, whatever. I just said, we're going to just have a joyous time together. We're going to enjoy ourselves. We're going to be enlightened. We're going to understand how to tap in to our inner greatness. Just that nice, loving stuff. It's not about, gee, how am I going to be, or I'm really nervous, or, what do you mean? I'm the creator. I'm it. The universe is all around. I create what I want. So I just say, this is how it's going to be. It's going to rock. And are we rocking? Yeah, it's as easy as that. You name it, and it'll happen. If you came here today thinking, you know what, this is going to rock, this is going to help me to tap my inner greatness, that it will. If you thought opposite than that, hopefully I'm changing you to get to the other side. And where's the other side? Here, in the green zone. So empowerment, joy, love, happiness, freedom, God. So what do you think so far? Yay, huh? All right. Has it tapped you to where you recognize that you are the power? Yes. You are it. It's like you're in the center and here's the universe, and ask and you shall receive. You can actually command. You'll get to the point where you're like, oh yeah, I can just say, hey, I want this, and then I get it. You know, this is supposed to be a joyful ride for us, okay? Now, I can share with you, actually, I have some people that are with me that have been doing some coaching just recently for me. Would you guys want to say anything about the coaching with me? Tommy, do you have anything?
That I have my mouth full.
I know, that's why I called on you. I saw you enjoying that pretzel. But Tommy I just started with a coaching program about 2 months ago. And would you just say whatever? And I don't know what they're going to say, so boy, but I know it's going to be good. No, Tommy, go ahead. What?
You know, one of the things that I learned from Dr. Hank is basically the pre-paving, because I'm a real estate agent, and all of the real estate agents that I've come in contact with before Dr. Hank, you know, the market is bad, nothing's selling, everything's horrible, closings don't happen, you know, the lenders aren't loaning any money or anything like that. Well, I actually started coaching with Dr. Hank, and that is not the case for me. I actually had a deal close this week that closed 6 days early.
Yeah, yeah.
Easy peasy.
Easy, yep. We're gonna have a couple of yeah, and that's great on that on pre-paving, and to understand that, and all the things that Tommy just mentioned, those are the things I don't want. Okay, but she, was buying into. Everybody was saying, "Hey, the economy is bad. That it's tough on closings." That didn't you have another closing like just wasn't closing, and now it's scheduled to close or something? Or yeah. And that's next week. So there's 2 closings in a month that Tommy's doing. Is that as many you're doing this month?
I actually started coaching with you. I've got 3 closings that are happening.
Yeah,
And
3 closings.
Prior to that time, I had not really done anything.
Yeah. So what do you think, huh? Yeah. So that easily, that within a couple of months, you could really have this happen, and that it's just that easy. Any comments from you, Robert?
You've really worked with me on moving from reactive into the intentional.
Yeah.
And doing things and pre-taping as well.
Yeah.
Made a change on everything.
Yeah, that's awesome. And again, we really, I appreciate, and we all appreciate that email you sent me this morning, and that your daddy's just loving this and just saying, yeah, this rocks. You're off and rolling. Anything, Harry?
I think he has helped me change my mindset, to be more positive, better outlook on things. Where I was coming from, I had changed real estate companies 3 different places, and I felt a want when I joined Ultima, and he's filling a need. So I'm getting what I want and what I need.
Yeah, cool. He even got new underwear. I'm sorry, Harry, I had to say it. I wasn't going to, but I just got so tempted. And he really did. He really has new underwear, but don't show us.
And tell him, well, we had, since he started the coaching, he really needed a sale, because he hasn't had one for a long time.
Yeah.
And so, I'm feeding him all these leads, because I'm buying all these leads. I'm his sister, by the way.
Yeah, right. This is Kathy Crow, the sister.
And just one of these leads, and really these leads that you get from realestate.com and Zillow and Trulia and all these stuff that I'm buying, mass leads.
Yeah.
They're all looky-loos and hopey-hopes and all this kind of stuff. Well, he gets one just the other day, boom, cash, one closed today, closing when? Tuesday.
Yeah. Closing Wednesday.
He got a
Yeah, that is beautiful. And you know, you reminded me of something that is just awesome. That remember that our job is to determine what we want and then how we feel. Now, God's job is how. God will bring you, the universe will bring you out of the blue experiences such as that, where all of a sudden a cash closed deal that's done Wednesday, a deal that was suffering that is all of a sudden done. Haven't sold any homes, sell 3 homes. How does this happen, okay? I can tell you, it's not me, okay? It is them, my influence, but them identifying what they want, and this is what they wanted, more home closings, for example. They felt good on, wow, this way I feel so good about being able to control my life, to have more money, to have this abundance, to have this joy in my life that I have always sought. And so you can create it instantly, and so God's job is the how. However, you have used your analytical minds because you're going to figure out how it's going to be, okay? Like Sharon says to me yesterday, oh, do you know how you're going to, do your talk? And I said, I don't do any of the how stuff. I have no idea what I'm talking about other than, there's the 5 steps, but how that rolls out, I have no idea. I have Spirit guide me on all that. The how is God will bring you, Source will bring you, all there is will bring you, the people, the circumstances, the events, and what we call at Ultima Real Estate, and by the way, Paul Bermudez is the owner of Ultima Real Estate, and they happen to be Ultima Real Estate agents, and they rock because they get to keep all their commissions and all kinds of other good stuff. And poor Paul, we had to pay his way in now, that they get all the money, which is great. And out of the blue, it came out of the blue. Because I called it, I asked for it, and I then felt it, and because of that, it comes out of the blue, the people, the circumstances, and the events that you could have never, ever imagined. I had one real estate agent, Tim, and Tim, he just this week on Tuesday, he said that he earned more money this year since coaching with me than he did in the last 5 years, okay? And about 2 months ago, he said to me, you know what I want to do? His average was $100,000 a home that he would sell. And he said, you know what? I think I'm ready now, Dr. Hank, to sell $1 million home. And I said, that's cool. Now, what do? I think about what I want. Yep, I want to sell a multi-million, $1 million or more home. And I feel so good about that I know that I can attract it. He doesn't know anybody that has millions of dollars. His whole background, his whole upbringing has been basically poor, okay? Not enough. That he has all those experiences, all the background, every excuse, every story in the world not to sell $1 million home, okay? On Wednesday, he signed his first home for sale, $2.6 million. And he goes, how'd you get it? I said, how'd you get it? And I know, of course, but he goes, out of the blue. Like this lady, I'm talking to her saying I want to do a $1 million home. Oh, I know someone that's moving from Hollywood that would just love to buy a multi-million-dollar home. Got the introduction. He doesn't know anything about $1 million home. He doesn't know about the nice marble and, counter. He doesn't know anything, okay? You don't have to know squat about anything other than what I want and how I feel when I get it. Don't be worried about the how. I don't need the knowledge. You don't need to go to any more school, okay? You don't need to get any other diplomas. You don't need to say anything to anybody. You just need to identify what you want and how you feel about it, okay? So, what do you have? Anything? Greg, you want to say anything?
Yeah, I've been working with Hank, what, 3 months now?
Yeah.
and it's just been incredible getting you clear about what you want and setting that intention. And I think we get the big aha moment was Thursday,
Yeah.
where I wanted to have trades that were more consistent and clear, that were regular. So that trade idea came at 3 o'clock in the morning. I was actually I'd rather have a news an online service that I actually was able to share that trade for free with a lot of other people, and they saw that trade. So people who are managing money for, they got to see that trade. People who were just who were struggling with their trading got to see that trade. It was on Twitter, and it was just a thing that happened one day, and the next day he was able to see that. And that was a very powerful thing, because I got clear with, I felt good about, I told him, I don't sell houses, but my trades are like selling a house. I know if I buy something, I want it to go up. You know, so I'm going to sell it to somebody at a higher price. You know? And so we got clear on that. And
Yeah.
so
Clarity.
I'm excited. I see
Yeah.
houses now.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what industry it is. I've done all industries on all things, on physical people that have been disabilitated, couldn't have a regular life, and that now they have a regular life. And so it doesn't matter what it is, you can overcome every and anything. Now, the bad news about all this is that I'm full for 2013 in my coaching. So I went to my dear friend and business partner, Paul, and I said, you know, I want to be able to help more people, whether they're in real estate or not in real estate, and I don't have capacity in order to do that. And so he helped me, and we worked together, and we identified a program that's available to you. Typically, this program, the investment is thousands of dollars. For you, that I have an opportunity, and so if you'll see on the front here, and Leah said to me, hey, why is this in red? Why do top performers use coaches? Why is this in red? Because it's a bad zone. I said, oh, my marketing people, but we're not using those marketing people anymore. But you know, they say, oh, no, you got to have it in green. But the point is here, everybody that excels has a coach. CEOs have a coach. That you know, every athlete has a coach. You have to have a coach. I have 3 coaches. In fact, one of my coaches is Peggy Ann right there, and that she's my breathing coach. She helps me breathe. And you might say, like, wow, Hank, you got some big problems. That guy needs a coach to breathe. But I breathe in, you know, in the Bible, spirit means breath, okay? And that I breathe in, and within about 45 seconds, I'm right in the stream of that good and recognize, because all we need is allowing. And on this emotional scale, and I know Yanel is just the best, isn't she? She is so nice. I love Yanel. That Yanel is really Paul's assistant, but then she is kind enough to help me and kind of us with all of this. And so I said, oh, could you stand up here? And now, you know, I'm talking, and she doesn't, and I'm still not ready yet, you know, but I will be within an hour, I promise. So, the emotional scale. Yeah, she's getting tired. The emotional scale, I wanted to share a couple other things. So if you go back to your notes, that on this green zone, that this is all allowing. All you need to do is allow the good to come in. Disallowing are the negative thoughts about not allowing this good to come in. There is only good. You're the only one that prevents your good by your negative thoughts and thinking there's lack and limitation. When you understand you're the commander, and Bo's 13 years old, and this young man, he's getting to realize, I can do whatever I want. This rocks. Like, I think I'm going to move out. No, you're not thinking that yet, are you? But he's saying, wow, this is really going to be fun. And that's how we all came into this life, thinking this is really going to be fun. And most of us are feeling like, oh, it's not too good. And the more you think about it, it's not too good. It's going to get worse, not too good. Okay, it's going to get worser. Is there such a word? Well, there is now. And so I just need to allow. This is resistance. My resistance. And the beauty is that it doesn't matter where you are, and put an arrow here, this line is relief. So if you're angry and if you're pissed off about something, that's way better than you feeling disempowered, okay? Because disempowered is here. And all psychologists say, you're disempowered, you go in and you say, wow, I'm feeling terrible. And they say, yeah, that I understand why and everything. And then you start saying, you know what, I'm really upset about this. I'm mad. They say, hold on, don't do that. And they put them right back into being disempowered. So it doesn't matter where you are about any subject, that if you feel relief, just like, wow, if they can do this, okay, I can do this. That, you know what, there's hope. And here's hope. Hope is here. And so as your thoughts get into more allowing thoughts, that it sheds the monkey off your back, okay, and you get lighter and lighter. Sharon sometimes says to me, you know, Hank, you're getting so light, you may just float away. And I love that. I think I might sometime. I think that's called an out-of-body experience. Anyway, so relief. So think about relief as a godly word. If you could just think of a thought, like if you're mad about something, if you're upset about something, just think a little bit better thought, a little bit better feeling thought. And when you feel relief, oh, it feels so good. And as you feel good, you start lining up with all there is, and you start parting. And literally right now know that we're parting the heavens and that your inheritance is coming to you. And like a bullet train, it's coming to you. Believe it, and it is done unto you. So, back to the bad news. So I'm full. I can't do any more coaching than anybody, and I love doing what I'm doing, and I want to help all the people, and I don't have enough capacity. So we came up with this idea that, wow, we could do this on the internet, and I could do 100 people or whatever at a time and give them this very same process that I've used for 17 years with corporate America, with individuals to do, be, and have everything that people would want. And so this time-proven process includes, and so Yanel, could you show them what it includes? Like, okay, so top performer success formula. It includes that, along with the CD. She looks like Vanna or something, doesn't she? She is just so darn good. God darn it, I want to pay her more money, you know? You just want to pay her more. And then it includes a complete time management system. That if you think you don't have enough time, this is going to be for you. It's the best time management system that I know, and it's to help you to get into this green zone. So you're going to get top performers with 6 success units, the CD, the My Time, the owner's manual, the conscious mind treatment, where all of this started is from that book, along with Dr. Hank's meditations. Now, my meditations, what is that? And so, let's see. Well, we should go, I'll go more into this. So what we're going to do, if you go to page 2, and I think that's all, but I'm not sure. Thank you. So you're going to get 1 monthly success teleclass. So that'll be with me going through Success Unit 1. You will then also get 1 monthly top performers video training. And so this will be a training on, for example, how to live a platinum lifestyle. And it all starts with the platinum mindset. And that I'll show you about the platinum mindset and then the platinum lifestyle. Then a top performers newsletter, and you'll get my newsletter once a month. You'll also have 3 emergency calls. These are my marketing people that put this down. You know, come on, emergency calls. That just call me whenever you need me, okay? And that I'll be there. Isn't there a song like that? Call me and I'll be there. And then you'll also be a member of our Facebook group in order to communicate with similar-minded people. Now, this usually, the investment is $2,500. Some of my corporate people have invested $25,000 for one person. It's for you just $297, and it includes all of these things to include. And I'll hold it up and show you the comparison between Yanel and me showing you this stuff. You know, that Yanel's way, way better. You'll also get a 20-page personality assessment of you. And in fact, Ken, this is your assessment. And what did you think about this? Was this helpful? Yeah, it was just like them. And it'll identify your stress, and I will be able to help you to reduce your stress. And remember, your stress is in these red zones, and by reducing your stress, then you'll end up in the green zone. So if you are interested in applying for that, the next page has where you would sign up. And so if you don't want to put your credit card information on here, that then Yanel has a fancy tech. She's high technology too. Of course, I'm not. That's why Paul and I need her so bad. That well, Paul's actually good at technology too. But she has a swiper that you can do a swiper and afterwards. But that is the offer, and that I'm so happy to be able to provide you this offer and this availability for you to have all of those things. Again, it's for 1 year and just $297, discounted from, what is it, $499 normally? $497, yeah, thank you. So any questions or comments about that? Okay, so let us, thank you, Yanel, I appreciate it. So we're back to 5 steps to your dreams, to everything you desire. So remember what you have, what is your desire. So write down what your desire is. Did you write down what your desire is? Yeah. Identify whatever you want. And so the first step is, again, to think and think how, in the green zone, about what I want and how I feel when I have it. That's it. Don't do God's work. God's work is the how. And then you'll be thinking about, well, how am I going to go do, who has another goal? Someone have a goal? Yes, what's your goal, Jonathan?
I just want to feel content.
Content, yeah. And so, so the first thing is that it kind of sounded, when Jonathan said that, kind of like, well, I want to feel content. And it kind of felt like maybe the opposite of like I'm missing content, okay? So so to be thinking about, wow, it really feels good that I recognize that I am the creator of my own experience, that I can feel content just like that. Because from now on, what I'm going to do is be thinking about that I am content, and that I feel good about that. I feel good on how powerful I am. I feel good about just the idea of that, you know, my relationships are going to get better because I am going to create my relationships better, that my financial situation's going to be better, that you just start saying all these good things. Now, what you don't do is say, God darn it, I'm going to be content, and, you know, I'm telling that darn universe that I'm going to be content, and I'm in it, by God, it's missing, but I know it's out there someplace. And if you do that, that's not where to get it. And so meditations, and again, part of this whole coaching process is to help you with where to go on that and how to do it. Does anybody else have another goal that they want to share with me? What's a goal that you want? Yes?
Continued good health.
Continued good health, yes. So here's a great concept to endear. That let's say that you have headaches all the time, okay? That you can't think, oh, I'll use a real live example. I have someone that was in a car accident, disabilitated, couldn't do much of anything. Their neck hurt all the time. They were at the doctor all the time, taking pain pills all the time, etc. And so I told him, don't think about the pain. Why is that? Because that's what I don't want. Okay? See, we're so used to thinking we're going to go focus, we're going to fix this, you know, bad neck that hurts and pain. And he used to give me all this really in-depth information. Well, it's this vertebrae, and this thing is here, and, you know, he's so into his pain and to what he has that what you do is you think about, wow, I love the way my left hand feels right now. You know, I'm just going to have that good feeling, and those like I'm filled right now with 300 trillion happy cells. And if you start saying that, you don't say funny stuff like that, to yourself. You just giggle. It makes you feel good. And that's where you want to be. And so it starts working on you, and pretty soon your neck won't hurt. That if you just say that I just allow now, I allow good health to come to me. I can call anything that I want to into my experience, and I've decided I want to call into what I want. Now, most of us have been calling into what we don't want. We think about, the pain, or gee, I'm getting old. Like if you say, oh, well, I'm getting older, guess what? You just increase that rate of getting older. I was losing my hair, and I kept on going, well, look, I'm losing my hair. And one day I woke up and I said, what am I doing? I'm going to lose more hair. So now I don't say I'm losing my, I say I'm getting more hair, and I think it's just at an even level right now. But I'm way happier with an even level than no hair. Yes.
I was just saying, that's
Ann.
right, because I was told I would not be this, I would hook up to the machine the rest of my life, and I would not be a healthy individual.
Yeah.
And it works.
Yeah.
Healthy, totally healthy.
Yeah.
And I'm thankful that I have the knowledge to know how to do this.
That's correct. You brought up a beautiful, up here at the top is knowledge. And not to go to school knowledge, this knowledge.
It's awareness.
It's awareness, and I'm the creator. I'm the power. I create my experience the way that I want. And most of us have been brought up being told things that aren't true. You were all told, listen, that children are meant to be seen, not heard. Okay, oh, gee, I'm worthless. I'm no good. I'm not going to say anything. And we carry those beliefs with us. And the power is right now, though, that you don't have to have any of those. I have a friend that in his 20s, he was telling me, hey, my grandfather committed suicide, and my dad told me I'd probably commit suicide around 37, too. And at 37, he committed suicide. And whatever you say, you call it, you name it, if you want to believe it. You can live a long, happy life. I'm going to live a long, happy life. And so is Sharon. And so are all of you, because you're it. You get to call it. I'm going to call a happy, healthy, abundant, prosperous life, and filled with joy, and right at the top of that scale. And why? Because I took the leap of faith, and I went to joy. So what on earth is step 3? So we think and what our desires are. And then we feel, and we become very familiar with what we feel. And the third one is that the universe answers, God, whatever you want to name it, God, the universe, answers and provides it to you, and through a thing called the law of attraction. And I get a kick out of, I hear people saying, oh, I'm a teacher of the law of attraction. There's nothing to teach. Okay, it's happening all the time right now to you. Whatever you're thinking, you're attracting into your life. And imagine yourself now that you are here, that you're using your mind in order to create immediately these vibrations. These vibrations go out to the universe and attract to the universe what you desire, what you're vibrating, okay, and that it is molding that non-physical, spiritual substance into matter through the law of, as you continue to think of good health, and that, wow, I feel healthy, and I love that I could see so well, that I could hear so well, that I could smell so well. And as you continue to say that you will attract one next new idea after the next good idea, the good feeling idea about your health, after the next, and pretty soon you are sitting with this swarming love tornado that is taking everything associated with that and bringing it right to you out of the blue. Do you understand the incredible power that you have to be able to do that? And the law of attraction is simply this: whatever I'm thinking about, a similar thing is going to be attracted to it. And I'm standing in the middle of the eye of the storm at peace, happy and joyful as all the things I'm thinking about and feeling are coming my way. So step 3, you don't have to do. It's already done. And if anybody wants to do some law of attraction training, tell them no. It's already done. Done on to you, okay? Number 4. Number 4 is I need to allow. God bless you. I need to allow. And so I need to allow it in. If you think, oh, I'm going to have good health, and then you start saying, there's no way I can have good health, and oh, my knee hurts me, and oh, geez, I'm not going to the gym right now, and because I'm not going to the gym right now, that I now feel bad. And you don't have to do anything to have good health other than think it, okay? And so and once you get that and realize that you can have that chocolate cake, and it's not going to add pounds, and it's not going to be unhealthy for you unless you think it is. You're the controller. You're it. But we have been so driven to believe otherwise. Like I just heard a commercial on at Lifetime this morning because I love working out and puts me in the zone, and it's just awesome. And I feel good with that, and so I do that. And I was here, and they were saying, oh, and Thanksgiving, we're all going to gain lots of weight and have all this bad food. And I'm thinking, they're talking about one like brunch or, lunch or dinner that you have. What is all this stuff about? What does Thanksgiving all of a sudden have this, thing where I add 5 pounds? I have turkey all the time, It's like, but they make it up. So you think, oh, the holidays are coming, man, we're going to really get it. My loving real estate agents, before they meet me, that they go, oh, it's the holidays, everything stops. It's You think people don't want to get into their houses? And so I have this one real estate agent. She's selling 8 homes in the next 6 weeks. She was selling 1 every 2 months before I met her. And Tirsha said, have this attitude of, wow, the holidays, people want to move into their new home, and they can't wait to move into their new homes during the holidays, before Thanksgiving or before Christmas. And with that attitude, she's selling 8. We're the other agents that are thinking, oh, boy, this is a slow season. I said, is it slow for, your money coming in? Is that what you're asking for? Well, no, that's not what I want. Exactly. That, there's all kinds of stuff. What is this? This is, Thanksgiving is one day, and Christmas, whatever, holiday is another, it's a couple days in 2 months. You're going to take off for 2 months? But do you see the mindset that has happened is mass consciousness. The beauty is that when one of you stands tall and big and knowing who you are in this green zone, that you're more powerful than millions. And all of us together are more powerful than billions that are not in this place of oneness. And that's what the green zone is, a place of oneness where you're one with your source, with source energy, with God, the universe. And you then start vibrating with all there is and creating all that you desire. So step 4, allow. How do I allow? And it's more than we have time to cover, but the easiest way to know if you're allowing, like, okay, I got this communication system, right, with God. God and I got this communication system, and I send out these feelings, these vibrations, and I get whatever I'm vibrating, okay? And before today, that you were mainly vibrating what you don't want, and so that's why life, for the most part, didn't look as good as you liked it. Now you identify, wow, this is how I'm going to do, but how do I know this communication? And it's real simple. I'm in a state of allowing when I feel good. That's it. So all you have to do is look within and say, how am I feeling right now? Do I feel good about that? Am I vibrating good? Do I feel good? And if you are, you're in a state of allowing. If you're not, you're feeling bad. And all you need to do to not feel bad is you have the power to get you to feel good by doing what? What do you need to do? What do you need to do? If you're feeling bad, what do you need to do to feel good?
Vibrate.
Vibrate? How do I vibrate? I think differently about that subject. Whatever subject. So if you have a subject, so let's say it's your in-laws, okay? If you have a thought like, oh, those in-laws, and they're so irritating, I can't wait till Thanksgiving's over because I'm going to have to sit at the same table with them for, this meal. That if you're thinking that, and you leave that and you come back to that, you're going to vibrate at the exact same place that you were before, okay? And you're going to feel bad. So those subjects that are important to you, so maybe the in-laws aren't too important, so don't think about them anymore. But the subjects that are important to you, in fact, I'd like you to write down right now, what are the top 3 subjects, things in your life that are most important to you? What are the top 3 things that are most important to you? So it could be your health, could be your wealth, could be your relationships, top 3 things. Now, how many of you on one of those topics don't feel too good about? In other words, you feel like a lack of. Can I see a show of hands? Yeah, lack of, okay. So your play, and it's going to be
that was easy.
Easy, is that you need to take that, if you want that I would suggest that you start thinking upon that subject on where you are right now. Face the bitterness of, I am pissed off that I don't have enough money or that I don't have this relationship or whatever, wherever you are, it doesn't matter, okay? And think about the next good feeling thought you could have about that. So if it's money, that, wow, other people have money. Wow, I made money before. Wow, I could, that money, I just am the attractor of money. I attract and create money. Don't think there's just a pot of money and that you got to grab your share because everybody else is grabbing that. Whatever your desire is, source creates more of it. There is no attention to anybody. Okay, it doesn't matter. And here's another one on honoring the God of other people's opinion. The God of other people's opinion. You should be doing this. Your parents have told you what you should be doing. Okay, your employer, your whoever, everybody is telling you what you should do, and you have a communication, a device, a mechanism within you to know what's right for you. You're the only person that knows what's right for you. There's nobody else. Quit honoring the opinion, the God of other people's opinion. It does you no good. And that this teaching also, and this learning, is to be selfish. Completely opposite of what you've been taught. When I thrive, the world thrives. When I suffer, the world suffers. I have to put myself first. If I don't put myself first, then I'm not going to thrive like I was born to thrive. And people will love you for that. And those that don't will just be kind of whisked away. Again, they're not in that, and they'll just go away. And it'll be all fine. And they're fine. They're doing their own experience. That what other people are thinking has nothing to do with your experience. Don't give a hoot about it. Has nothing to do. Sharon always, and she'll get embarrassed me even saying this now. So I go to Lifetime every morning, and there's, 100 different bikes that are out there, and exercise machines, and everybody's faced this way. And I go up, and I get a washcloth, and I take this washcloth, and it's, I have some scent on it, and I put it on my face, first of all, and then I go up, and I breathe in, and I'm breathing in all there is and just allowing all the good. And I'm standing like this in front of like 100 people, okay, with a washcloth on my face. And I did one time have a guy brave enough, came up to me and he said, Hey, what are you doing? Some balancing? No, I'm just calling spirit in. Oh, and he turns around. But I don't care, okay? And this is a lifetime where Mark Cuban belongs to, and you know, everybody considers that they're rich people and they're stuck up and they don't say hi. And the first day I went there, because I didn't prepave, everybody's going like this. They don't say hi, they don't look at you, nothing, okay? And I said, well, my gosh, I don't want that in my experience. And you know, I talked to a couple people there, that the people that work there, they talk to me because I'm the client. And I said, you know, what's with the people? Oh, they don't talk, you know, they're just kind of to themselves, and that's just the way it is. And I said, I don't believe in the way it is. I want it the way I want it. So I prepaved it. So I prepaved it in the morning. I prepaved. I can see myself. I just love this idea. That's a good one. Write that down. I love the idea of. I love the idea of whatever. If you're not vibrating well on one of those top threes, just I love the idea of being independently wealthy. Or I love the idea of having perfect health. Okay? I love the idea. So anyway, so I go and I do my joy shop and I'm pre-paving my day and I go, you know what? I can't wait to go into Lifetime today because I'm going to sit by the machines and like some people are going to walk by, and even the trainers are stuck up because they think they're so good trading these wealthy people or whatever. And so, you know, so everybody's stuck. And so I say, you know, they're good. I know they have alpha to the omega, and that I'm going to attract the good out of these people. They're going to be friendly. They're going to be uplifting. We're going to even be laughing together and talking. So I'm sitting there doing some machine. I didn't even know they were called machines about a year ago. Weights. I used to go, I don't know. So, you know, anyways, I'm doing my machine. And the guy walks by. And I said, wow, she really seems to be working you hard. And this is a guy that I've seen in there before, and he doesn't say anything. And he turns to me and he goes, yeah, can you believe her? I mean, I think, and he starts this big conversation with me about how he's writing on the walls in the men's room about how bad she is and stuff, you know. I'm going like, you know, and there is no writing on these walls, believe me, it's all mahogany wood. And then she jumps in and says, oh yeah, I'm really working them hard today. And another guy walks by and he goes, oh yeah, you know, the other week I was with her. And pretty soon, we're all standing around laughing. Exactly as I imagined it. Now when I go in there, everybody, hey, how are you? How are you? You know, it's just one big happy family because I'm the creator of my experience, and so are you. Okay? So, number 4, how to allow. And again, we don't have time to go into the specifics, but joy shop is one way. Meditation is another way. Breathing is another way. Reverend Lee is like the meditation guru. Okay? You know, he gets into meditation and he gets into the stream of oneness and recognizes that flow as that flows through, around him, and that's why he has the magical life that he has. Okay? That Peggy Ann, that she's the breathing queen. That she knows how to breathe, but now she taught me how, so I can teach you how. But it's nice, deep breaths in. You want to do your breath just one time? Or a few breaths? A few breaths? Yes. Just listen to this. Yes.
The idea is not to have a pause in between the in-breath and the out-breath, but just keep it circular. And a psychiatrist said, you know, all of our hang-ups are hiding between the pauses between our breaths. So it's just...
Everybody start doing it. Thank you, Peggy Ann. And do you feel it? The calmness just come over you? The stream, it's all just beautiful. It's right here for us. It's ours to enhance. So joy shop, meditation, breathing, that a state of feeling good thoughts wherever you are and allowing good thoughts, and that just allows the stream. There's just this one stream. There's no other stream. and it flows to you and through you and in you all the time. And it's there. The only thing that prevents it is your negative thoughts, your resistant thoughts to your good. Because you've been told before, you have the beliefs that it can't be all good. You've been told to be guarded. There's no need for you to be guarded. And then step 5, after you allow it, all you have to do is receive it. And receive it into your experience. And live the good life. It's a joyful life. If you wake up in the morning and do your joy shot, and so actually I'll give you the magic bullet here. And if you do this in the morning, wake up and think thoughts that feel good to you. Then be aware of your feelings. You know, as you think thoughts that feel good, that implies that you have to be aware of how you feel. After you think thoughts, you identify your desires. So what do you want? And so those will continue to be enhanced and changed as you continue to get the things that you desire. The third thing is to write down what you're grateful for. So in the last 24 hours, what am I grateful for? So it's the little things. I got to work safely, that someone said a kind word to me. I got a pay raise. I made more money. I had a home sale. Okay, there are hundreds of things that you can come up with every day for the last 24 hours that happened to you. Sometimes when I'm writing this, I just get lost in it, and I just have pages and pages of all the things. When you are in a state of being grateful, the heavens part for you, and that all that you desire will come to you. It's a beautiful, beautiful life, and you can experience it. And finally, the is to prepave. Prepave your day. And I was working with a client yesterday, and they hadn't seen me for 5 months. Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. It's 12:38. Okay. We're out of time. Oh, we're out of time. I would love to spend the next 5 hours with you, next 5 years. Yeah, keep on going. Yeah. But okay, so the answer is prepave your day. But I was working with a client yesterday that, because of different reasons, couldn't see me for 5 weeks, and they said, "My gosh, I just realized that I haven't been doing these things, and this is why I haven't had the success that I've had in the last 5 weeks. I haven't had any success because they stopped doing that." And what that coaching process can be is to help you to get and change, because all of your life you have a thought process that has continued to work, and it's like a wagon wheel going through the road, and it has deep pits in it, that you're used to the same thought process, and you have to move out of that thought process and then stay out of it, and stay out of the old one and stay in the new one. So with that, there are the 5 steps. There's the 4 things if you do every morning that'll take you to paradise. The heavens will open. Any questions or comments?